Welcome back on Pat O'Brien, Everything All the Time. Here we are from our studios at Hollywood and Vine, WCOBM. You can see people walking by there behind us, and we're happy to be here. That's Court McCowan, who's a comedian, actor, a beacon of recovery and helping a lot of people.
Oh, thanks, Pat.
And my dear friend. Also joining us is John Amato. Hi, John. How are you?
What's up, Big Pat? I'm great.
Big Pat.
Big Pat.
Big Pat.
Let's hang on to that.
Yeah.
What's your reference? John runs a website. If you haven't seen this website, it's Crooks and Liars. One word, right? crooksandliars.com. And he takes apart the political scene, reviews movies and television shows, and he's a brilliant political mind. So let's start with you, John. Donald Trump, really?
I love Trump. He's insane. You know, he's running on the idea that he's breaking down the barriers of PC culture, right? Political correctness. Basically, all he's doing is trying to be able to say the N-word without impunity.
He dropped the P word. So
right. Yeah.
good.
Yesterday, one of his audience members, right, yells out the P word because he's talking. His whole thing is
the P word that's like a cat, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say it. Do you want to say it?
I'll say it, pussy.
Okay, that's what he said.
Oh, it's pussy, Pat.
So, I mean, his whole shtick so far has been the authoritarian. He's John Wayne. He's tougher than everybody. Everybody's a punk. They're weaklings, right? They're little ducklings. Jeb Bush, he's weak. Jeb, shut up. You're just weak, And so he's been going after Ted Cruz. And the idea now that Trump not only wants to bring back waterboarding, but he wants to use a guillotine.
But don't you think too? At the same time, it's like Trump's going after Cruz now because he beat him in the first.
Exactly.
caucus.
Right?
I mean, that's why he's going after him. If it would be Jeb Bush if Jeb Bush was the one who came out ahead, but now he's going after the guy that's now threatening him.
Well, absolutely, but he was pretty smart in the beginning when he came in. Jeb Bush was the establishment candidate, right? He had $100 million in a war chest.
Jeb!
Right, Jeb 2016, right? Nobody thought that Jeb would be this weak on the campaign trail. I mean, they're still in shock of how bad he's done. And actually, his last debate was his best performance. Right. But Trump, for a while, laid off Cruz, saying Cruz is crafty because on all this time when Trump burst onto the scene, right, being a xenophobe and wanting to arrest everybody and have people surveilled all the time and ratting on each other, Cruz basically would just agree with him, right? He didn't want to get on the bad side. So Trump was like, he's an okay guy. But once he started to rise, then of course he's got to turn fire on him. And so the idea now that Cruz is hedging on torture, and that's how that whole P word came up. Like, suddenly you're not a man if you don't want to, like I said, chop people's heads off.
John Amato from crooksandliars.com. Is it .com, right?
.com.
Not .org. Wow. .com.
Not
How'd you get that?
either. Yeah.
Hey,
Not .net.
11 years ago.
Not .edu.
Not .tv.
What is the Bush plan?
The Jeb Bush plan?
I'm sorry. What is the Trump plan?
Yeah, because we were talking. Pat, you and I tried to figure this out. There's this plan that everybody's seen and everybody's behind, but nobody's seen it, and we don't know really who's behind it.
Well, because in sort of this primary cycle, basically this whole campaign is just to sound tough, not give any specifics, but say things that the right because the base, you see, they want to hear people say, Mexicans are wetbacks and they're all rapists, and people are cheering. They don't care if he has no plan. They're happy that he's saying things that they really believe. And I wrote this myself and my ex-managing editor, Dave Nyworth, we wrote a book in 2010 called Over the Edge, How Obama Drove
Speaking
the
of
Right.
books, I'll be back right after this. New York Times bestseller. Go ahead.
That was a quick
So
shameless
rude,
plug.
sorry.
Yeah.
And we wrote about the rise of the Tea Party movement and what they tried to call as a right-wing populist movement. But really, when you talk about right-wing populist movements, you have to talk about the KKK. That's populist movement for right-wing. Anyway,
Got
not to diverge here. But, and because they allowed all these crazy people,
What happened here?
all these crazy people to enter the party because they were so afraid of Obama's appeal, because he was reaching out to so many young people. He generally scared the bejesus out of the Republican establishment, that they allowed white nationalists, just all the crazies to get in there because they were terrified that they wouldn't win a general election in 20 years.
By the way, Gene Wood is probably watching. That's your employee out there, Gene, Bruce. Out there taking pictures.
Of
Great guy.
strippers, Yeah.
He's
Bruce?
a great guy.
Well, he's supposed to be
Bruce
in
is
here.
a great guy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He's hard at work, though. I like that he's getting you in the background there, Pat. That's
No
important.
thanks. Welcome to Everything All the Time. You get the reference there? Eagles, Life in the Fast Lane, everything. Okay. John Amato, who's a brilliant political analyst, and I wish I had 3 hours with him.
By the way, somebody said I never age. Thank you.
Who wrote that? Well, I've known you for a long time, and I don't think you do. You have age.
It's my Italian genes.
There we go.
No, you have sweatpants on.
John, let me ask you this. I want to ask you a
Yes.
question because it always seems to me like politics always gets so confusing, and it's never, put it simpler, it's never black and white. There's always all these different things that come in, and when I think what it comes down to is you talked about like. Trump made it very black and white. It's either this or it's that. You're either for this or against this.
Right.
But there's no idealism behind it. It's just bullshit. At the end of the day, it's
Right.
just a bullshitter. And when it comes down to, Pat and I were talking the other night about a president. This is the president of the United States. He can't be a bullshit guy. It's got to be somebody who can do the job.
And here's what's happening. I want you to answer this, or both of you can. Where's the blowback? I mean, where are the Eugene McCarthy's? We were talking about how weak it is. And by the way, I've known Trump for 30 years, and I know what he's doing, and he's a smart guy, by the way. I just don't understand. There's no other person. We had Gene McCarthy, we had Bobby Kennedy, we had people that would always be the other guy. The other guys, one by one, end up agreeing with it.
I mean, on his side, yes. And also, the
being on his side,
media is supposed to hold people accountable, especially politicians. What they say and what they do and how they act, as far as especially on the campaign trail, once you decide to run, you're under the magnifying glass, and everything you've ever done, ever drank, ever not smoked or inhaled comes out. And they just refuse to do their jobs in a professional way, and it's the rise of the internet. It's the corporations that the media giants that have sort of collapsed from the weight of the internet, and they're looking for clicks. But they're looking to drive traffic to their websites, and at this point, Donald Trump is a clickbait magnet. If you put up Donald Trump just said the P word, everybody, what did he say now? And it's driving traffic. It's actually making money for people. So why shut him down?
That's the new way to go. I mean, that's the new business model.
I mean,
right?
basically, so what you're saying is Trump is running for president. In the meantime, he's just going to get a bunch more Instagram followers. That's really all he wants.
He gets some more Facebook followers.
Yeah, he was going to build up his Instagram profile so that he can
Right,
sell advertising.
Right,
on it.
speaking of social media, WCOBM, that's what you're watching. We are the kings and queens of...
Easy, motherfucker.
Well,
Easy,
I just
motherfucker.
gestured. I didn't.
Yeah.
By the way, the answer is no.
Yeah.
But of social media, so you can always log on, come in, say what you want. We're brought to you by, today, Effortless. Want to get on the cloud, your business, want your stuff to be hidden when you want it to be, clear, worryless, like they say, Effortless. Find them, and they'll find you. Quickly, 30 seconds, John, then we're going to come back on the other side. But the other people, they just can't, on the Republican side, just can't seem to get any traction. I mean, Kasich, now, he's starting to get some.
Well, because it's New Hampshire. Because, I mean, when you look at that field, if you saw the debate without Trump, it was really like a wet noodle. I mean, you have
was
Cruz.
awful.
Cruz is sort of a
Always
hobbit-looking
awful.
guy, right?
They're always awful.
I mean, Marco Rubio, basically his whole debate prep is just to go over his stump speech. So he's got no personality out there. Kasich is trying to be a reasonable guy, but in this era, you can't be a reasonable Republican. You have to be an over-the-top nut to get noticed.
Somebody makes a good point. Elizabeth Warren is the new
Elizabeth.
McCarthy, and that's pretty good. I mean, that's a good name. There's just
Yes.
nobody out there. We'll be back in a second. Everything all the time. I'm Pat O'Brien. Stick with us.